What is going on, guys? Marcus here with the Reformation Woodshop. It is that time of year again where we dig through the trash of the wood pile in my yard. The goal of this video is twofold. Number one, clean up the yard, get rid of the scrap you've been stockpiling for too long, and two, spruce up the house for the holiday season. For item number one, we're going with an iconic Christmas decoration, and it just so happens to be multi-purpose, and that is garland. Garland is something that you can toss on your tree or on an accent table to spruce it up and make it look a little bit more festive. I know you're not going to believe this, but most of these projects are just going to be wood that I picked up off the ground in my backyard. Starting with the first one. For this garland, I'm using some 1/8" solid alder that I think I cut in the past for some coaster blanks. Obviously they didn't become coasters, but now they will have new life as little tiny Christmas trees. Every once in a while, folks will complain that I have big power tools that I use for woodworking projects, and I'm just going to prove for a second you can buy a $20 saw and get the job done exactly the same. This is a coping saw, and its whole job is to cut intricate lines, kind of like a scroll saw or a bandsaw. The only drawback to it is that it takes a lot more time than a power tool. Needless to say, it does do the job, so if you don't have a bandsaw, you can do it that way. After I prove my point with that first Christmas tree, I'm switching over to the bandsaw so I can get this job done twice as fast, or maybe even 3 times faster. Once all of my trees are cut out, I'm going to move on to painting them. And I want to do a two-tone tree, so I'm taping off the trunk of the tree so I can paint that brown. And then I'll come in and spray all of the trees white because, you know, it's a winter wonderland Christmas around here. After they've dried, I'll rough sand them because I do want the wood tones to show through. And then so I can run rope through each and every one of these, I'm going to take my drill and a drill bit and punch a hole at the top of the tree. Finally, to finish up this garland, I'm just going to have my daughter help me run the string and beads all together. After that, all that's left to do is decide if you want to put this on an accent table or right smack dab on your Christmas tree. Item number 2 is going to be pretty similar to something I've done in the past, but totally different. Obviously for Christmas you always hang something on your front door. Most of the time that's a wreath. And in the past I've done a wreath in this video series, but today I'm going to be rounding up all the pallet wood in my yard to make a big Santa face. For this Santa face we're going to go to Old Reliable, and that is a dirty, dingy old pallet. I only need about 3 slats, so I'm cutting them straight off of this pallet, pulling the nails that are in the center, and then I'll just take and run them through my table saw to get a nice clean edge on all of their sides. If you're working with pallet wood, this is like the absolute most unavoidable step. You got to make it all nice and square. After that, we're going to take these bowed boards and put them in these clamps. And just to try and pull some of that bow out of them, I clamped up their edges. After the glue had dried and these 4 boards became one, I sanded them all flat and flush. Alright, so I'm cheating a little bit. I actually found this image of Santa online, and I took it to my laser engraving software, traced around it, and then cut it out with a piece of 1/4 inch. And I'm taking that over to my material, tracing it on the material, and then cutting it out with the bandsaw. I'm going to be doing that with all of the parts and pieces that go into this project, so if you don't have a laser, just print it on copier paper, cut that out, then trace it out on your material. After tracing the old man's head onto the pallet wood, I took it over to the bandsaw and just followed my lines. If you're following along at home, this is where we're at. After all my parts were cut out, the next step was to individually paint them. Lastly, now that the paint had dried, it was time to glue and nail everything into place. This is the point in the project where everything starts to shape up and you can finally feel a little bit of validation, because up until this point, you were just trusting the process. When it came to the eyes, I tried painting them on myself, but it looked like Santa had seen a ghost, so I had my wife come back, repaint them, and make them look a little bit more lovable. Lastly, we need back hanging hardware so we can hang it on the door or the wall. After your final screw is screwed in, it's time to put that bad boy on display. For item number 3, we're making a Christmas tree. Duh, it's Christmas. I'm gonna make this an Advent segmented tree. Is there such thing as professional scrap wood? With this segmented Christmas tree, I'm using all of the scrap wood made from cutting out all of the face frames on all of the cabinets we do at the shop. I'm using 2-inch material, and my first cut is at 3 inches, and after that, I just follow every other odd number. So 3, 5, 7, 9, so on and so forth, all the way up to 23. After that, I make a mark on center and punch it out with my 1-inch bit. The reason I'm using a 1-inch bit is because I've got a 1-inch dowel that's going to run through every single one of these boards. After I've got them all on the dowel, I'm equally spacing them out and adding a little bit of CA glue to lock them in place. As I lock them in place, I'm turning them on each other. That way they're not exactly uniform and they're all individually unique. Obviously in this video we've already done white Christmas trees, so let's go with the standard green on this guy. And then we'll make a red circular base. That way it kind of looks like it has a skirt. After all my parts and pieces were done for the actual tree, it was time to make the numbered ornaments. All I did was cut out some circles on the bandsaw, let my kiddo paint them up and put some string on them. That way every day in December we can pull one of these off and we'll have a correlating card matching with a different holiday activity for it. Now it's not just a table decoration, it's a functional, useful piece. Alright, for item number 4, I'm using scraps from work again. I'm using plywood to make reindeer for my front yard. After buying these plans, I was trying to figure out exactly how I was going to get them onto a piece of plywood, and I went with the projector method. I probably could have individually printed out each leg and body part, but that would have been a lot of wasted paper. After tracing all the parts onto the plywood, all that was left to do was to cut it out with my jigsaw. What are we thinking? Does that look like a deer leg? All right, we got torso, legs, now we need some vertebrae and antlers. Oh yeah, nice and snug. That's a pair of legs. Everything fit nice and tight, and when it didn't, I just cut it a little bit more with the jigsaw and it slid in perfectly. Oh, baby. I'm going to sand this, paint it, and wrap it up because I'm going to be completely honest with you. This project has been pissing me off. It was difficult, and it's one of those ones that no matter how I spin it or finish it up, I'll probably be disappointed in it. So I'm satisfied with it right now, but if I stare at it too long, I'll notice the imperfections. So let's just finish it right now. I'm actually not going to put these in my yard because they don't fit the decor, but I'm going to post them online, see if somebody wants to purchase them from me, and I'll circle back and let you know how much they go for. Alright, so last item on this list, and probably the most important, is a Christmas countdown clock. If you have kids like mine, and they're the type that say, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? You need a visual reminder of how many days till Christmas, or else they're going to bother you about it every single day. This video is kind of embarrassing me because this really is how my yard looks, and that's why I make these videos, so that I can get rid of the scrap wood. Perfect. I took this board, arbitrarily cut it at about 27 inches, and then arbitrarily cut it again with the support of my foot at another 27-inch mark. Just like with the pallet wood, I ripped an edge off on the table saw. That way they sit flat and flush together. I glue up my seam, lock it down in the clamps, and while it's drying, I go ahead and mark my circle that's going to make the body of this countdown clock. After the glue has dried and it's out of the clamps, it's back to the bandsaw we go. But like I said earlier, you can use a jigsaw for something like this. Actually, the jigsaw might have been better for something like this because a piece this big is kind of difficult to maneuver on the bandsaw. All right, so here's my circle. I'm kind of worried about the finish on this guy. Should I leave it white? Should I sand it and make it distressed? Or should I take it all the way down to the bare bones wood? Pause this video and let me know in the comment section down below what you would have done. And then we'll see if I get the answer right. After the body of my clock is done, obviously I need to get a clock arm, and it pains me to say I didn't want to make one, so I went and bought this $9 assembly kit specifically for this little baby arm. After looking around at Hobby Lobby for some numbers, I saw the price tag on them, and I said, nah, I'll just make them at home. So like I said, there's no use in buying them from Hobby Lobby if I can just use my laser engraver and cut them out myself. If you don't have a laser engraver, maybe this will convince you to get one. Look at that. Here's the basic idea. 25 days till Christmas. 24, 23, 22. I kind of want like this portion up top to say like how many days till Christmas, or have some mistletoe or snowflakes or something on it. So I'm going to place all the numbers and then we're going to figure out what else is going into this board. Obviously we got to do alternating colors, red and green, and then I'm just gluing them straight onto my half sanded, kind of reclaimed looking countdown clock. So if you guessed that's what I was going to do with the paint, you were correct. And for one last decorative touch, I had my wife cut out a Christmas countdown vinyl sticker to throw right on the face. That way, you know exactly what it is. It has a little bit of theming going on to it. All right, we finished it up. All right, Colby, what face do you make whenever it's on 25 days away? And then 1 day from Christmas, what face do you make? There we go. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. This is installment number 4 of my Christmas DIY scrap wood, pallet wood, trash from my yard into decor for the house series. If you're interested in watching those others, you can watch number 1 right here in the palm of my hand. And if you want to watch the others, I've got a Christmas playlist right on the front page of my YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe, click that notification bell so you can see all the videos that are on my channel at all times. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.